God's vineyard. El God Keren Vineyard. In ancient times, it was one of the high places that you read about it in the Bible, right? Where those idols were worshipped on high grounds. There were high places at the gates, but high places meaning the top of the mountain. The locals, the Canaanites, used to worship their idols, and the main one was Baal or Baal, the god of the rain, the god of fertility. And once again, we can see that shortly after the Israelites came into their land, they some again began to follow idols as well. And the worst times after the death of King Solomon, when the kingdom was divided, so it became worse. Here we have a monastery and a church. It belongs to the Catholic. As you know, Catholic, they have many different orders. This specific one is called Carmelites. This order was established since Crusader time. And the church here was built in 1883. The statue, 1953. Okay, to remind us the execution of those prophets, the prophets of Baal, which took place at the foot of the hill. So at the foot of the hill there is a brook called the Kishon Brook. Kishon. So the Kishon, by the way, runs through the valley, all the way from Mount Tabor, which we're going to see later, and down to here, around the mountain, into the Mediterranean. So the Bible says that they took them later, those prophets, the 450 prophets of Baal, the 400 prophets of Asherah, down to the Kishon Brook, and slew them. But we share the story, right?
Yeah,
that's a great story. So
yeah, it's a great story. You're probably familiar with the story. A little bit of historical context, I think, is really helpful for me when I think about the passage in the book of 1 Kings. As Yuval told us, the kingdom was divided after Solomon died. It was divided from, it originally was all Israel, and then it became Israel to the north and Judah to the south. And there were a succession of kings that ruled in the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And what's interesting about the northern kingdom is that there were 19 kings that ruled in the northern kingdom, but none of those kings had a heart for God. None of them followed in the ways of Solomon. The southern kingdom was only slightly better. There were 20 kings in the southern kingdom, and 8 of those kings ended up being good kings that served the Lord. And so the northern kingdom was a kingdom that was quickly becoming spiritually desolate. And at